Out of the first base dugout as Luke Short, the lefty, will make the start. His Tuesday night start against the Stanford Cardinal. The lineup forward, David Esker and Stanford. The Cardinal come in at 6-5 with that 5-game winning streak. As Court McDonald lead it off, Jimmy Nadai is off to a phenomenal start for the Cardinal, hitting second. As Stanford also getting some pop from the bottom of the order. Owen Cobb in the 9 spot. 3 homers already for the senior second baseman for the Cardinal.
Well, the Cardinal this year, as you mentioned, a little bit slow with the bats. They're hitting in the low 220s as a team, but there's only 11 games into the season, so these numbers really right now aren't that important. But there's no question, Roxy, this Stanford Cardinal team is going to be a little bit different than last year's team. They're going to have to make contact, which they do. They strike out about once every 7 at-bats. As we take a look at the starter for Cal, Luke Short, he's not going to throw a ball by you. He's not got the 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He's going to top out about 91 miles an hour, but we talked to Mike New, his head coach, prior to the game. He's got a great changeup and a very good curveball to go along with that fastball. For him to be successful, he needs to throw strikes and get ahead of hitters.
So the senior, the grad transfer, Short makes the start, the Los Gatos native. And Court McDonald leads it off for the Cardinal. The Stanford center fielder is Short, delivers the first pitch of the night as a soft liner towards second and caught right off the shoe tops. And a nice scoop catch at second base by Jaron Advincula to get the night started. 1 pitch, 1 out. Mike New will definitely take that.
He will, but you know, this is a characteristic of this Cardinal team. All the way through David Esker's years at Stanford, this is year 7, they have been aggressive on pitch 1.
Jimmy Nadai hitting second, Stanford first baseman, the Aussie. It's Nadai from Sydney, Australia. As the motion from Short and the pitch. And Nadai takes down low for a ball as Jimmy Nadai has hit safely in all but 1 game so far. He's reached in each of the first 11 games for Stanford. And he has the 2nd most hits of any Pac-12 player behind Travis Bazzana of Oregon State. Fouled away by Nadai. And Nadai, we saw him play sparingly last year. Got in, it's a late inning pinch hitter, maybe DH, pinch runner. But that was a loaded Stanford team, and now with those guys gone, Nadai getting an opportunity. 1-1 pitch in the air to center. Rodney Green roaming back, still going back, and he's onto the track, and he makes the catch in straightaway center, the deepest part of the ballpark. Nadai gave it a ride, but a lot of room out there for Rodney Green Jr.
Well, hit it right on the button, but as you mentioned, Rodney Green ran it down pretty easy. It did rain a little bit, Roxy, before the game today, but it's very, very nice right now.
Yeah, the tarp was covering the field. The teams took batting practice, BP before the game, in the cages down the right field line. Here's Malcolm Moore, freshman All-American last year, 3 homers to start 2024. As Malcolm Moore, the Sacramento native, looks at ball 1 as our plate umpires Nathan White tonight, Kellen Levy at first, Gary DeFabio at second, and Darren Hyman is the umpire at third. Overshift on for Moore.
Well,
which is illegal at the major league level, but you can still do it here collegiately, as the second baseman Advincula is out in shallow right.
He is, and I don't know why they banned it in the big leagues. I mean, after all, it is a game, right? So if you're a hitter and the whole left side or right side of an infield is wide open, wouldn't you think you'd take advantage of it? It's a game.
It's the rules, Wes. It's the rules.
It's a game, though. I mean, it's a game. I mean, if they can't figure it out, then it's the player's problem, not the league's.
Ball and 2 strikes on Malcolm Moore. Luke Short, the pitch. Good breaking ball. And a 1-2-3 first for Luke Short. The grad transfer for Cal goes through the Cardinal quickly. The Golden Bears coming to bat. Okay. How's our lacrosse doing? We're scoreless on the home half of the first. Just a quick 1-2-3 8-pitch inning for Luke Short. Now Cal comes to bat against the freshman Aiden Keenan. And there's the lineup for Mike New and the Cal Bears. A bit of a change in the lineup after the Bears scuffled in Vegas over the weekend. PJ Mutsouridis moves from the bottom of the order to the leadoff spot. Max Handren, who had been hitting leadoff, is now in the cleanup spot. Cal flipping Rodney Green Jr. to second. Caleb Lomavito's off to a torrid start third. But there's some depth and some power in this Cal lineup.
Well, there really is. It's kind of a polar opposite of the Cardinal lineup that we talked about, who strike out once every 7 at-bats. This Cal team, with some pop and some sock, they will strike out so far this year about once every 3.5 at-bats. So they are a dangerous, potent lineup up and down.
So there's a look at Aiden Keenan, who's made 2 relief appearances already. This is his first start, as he has a save the opening weekend against Cal State Fullerton. Hasn't pitched since that opening weekend. Was dealing with a little bit of a shoulder issue, nothing major, but they thought they'd just quiet it down, and everything's good to go for Keenan, the freshman, making the start tonight. He's from Morgan Hill, down in the South Bay.
Well, he features a fastball, slider, and changeup. With his fastball, his best pitch. Probably sit around 91, 92. They're hoping to get 4 out of him at minimum, 4 innings.
PJ Mutsouridis leads it off. Freshman from San Jose, went to Valley Christian High School in the South Bay. And there is ball 1 high from Keenan.
I'm glad you had to say Mutsouridis. Did I say it right?
You got it right that time. Wow, shocking.
1 for 1. What's the over-under on my names messed up per game?
It is Gonzaga, you know. There's a called strike to Mutsouridis. 1-1 the count. Mutsouridis hitting .483 to start the year. And he's got 2 homers already. And he's driven in 14, which is second on the Cal club to Lomavita. And Mutsouridis bounces 1 foul past third. 1-2 the count. And PJ Mutsouridis, not only is he hitting .483, he's 14 for 29. But he's also walked 9 times and been hit by a pitch. He's got an on-base percentage of .615 to start the year.
That's
and
it?
Start his Cal career.
That's all?
Lays off. Two balls, 2 strikes on Mutsouridis. Aiden Keenan, the pitch. And that one froze him with a nasty breaking ball. Catches him looking, and there's 1 gone. We'd like to welcome those of you who watch Stanford women's lacrosse against Davidson. We have Stanford baseball against Cal from Evans Diamond, Stu Gordon Stadium in the East Bay. Along with Wes Clements and our Pac-12 Network crew, Roxy Bernstein with you. You didn't miss much as Luke Short, making the start for Cal, worked a 1-2-3 first with a strikeout, and Aiden Keenan, the freshman, making his first career start. And he struck out PJ Mutsouridis to lead it off for Cal. Rodney Green Jr. climbs in and he waves through a pitch. It's 1-1. 283 for Green with 4 homers. The junior from Richmond, talented Cal center fielder. Good fastball from Keenan, and Stanford has the overshift on with 3 on the right side of the diamond for the left-handed batting Rodney Green Jr.
You know how many averages would have changed if they did this 20 years ago?
Well, Timo Becerra is now the third baseman, slid over to shortstop as Keenan tried the back door with a curve. And it's 2-2, and there you look at the Stanford defense, and what's interesting about it, look at the outfield, Wes. The center fielder, Court McDonald, is over to left center. big gap in right center for Rodney Green.
And when you see something like that, we're in the era of what? Analytics, I think that's what they say?
Yeah.
Right, something like
Your
that.
favorite.
Yeah, my favorite. So apparently the analytics say when a ball's hit in the air by Rodney Green Jr., it's hit more towards left center. When it's hit on the ground, as you see ball 4, it's to the right side of the infield.
So 1 out walk. Cal has a base runner as Green is on. Here comes Caleb Lomavita, the Cal catcher. 405, 5 homers, 18 driven in for Lomavita to start the year.
Well, this is a youngster that if you're at the yard, you don't go to the snack stand, you wait. Very similar to one Andrew Vaughn when he used to be and play for the Cal Bears. You just don't want to miss any pitch. This youngster is at the dish.
Great numbers against Stanford last year. 3 homers as Green bluffs going, and it's off the end of the bat foul from Lomavita. As the junior from Iva Beach, Hawaii. And went to St. Louis, the powerhouse over in the islands. There's Green at first. Already 4 steals for Rodney Green this year. He's always a threat to go.
Well, see, here's the thing with Rodney Green Jr. being at first. You talk about his ability to run, but when you have somebody like Lomavita at the dish, if you steal for second, first base is open. And the last thing Mike New wants is the bat taken out of Caleb's hands.
Now the move to first by Aiden Keenan. And Stanford, the shift on in the infield. Owen Cobb is pretty much playing the second baseman right behind the bag. And they're bunched up on the left side. You can see the huge gaping hole in the right side of the infield for Lomavita. He hits a routine grounder to second, and it could end up being a double. Green running, throw to second for Moore, and they got him on the helmet with Cobb covering for the out. First time this year that he's been thrown out trying to steal.
Well, coming in prior to that attempt right there, they were 14 out of 17 successful were the Bears, and we'll take a look at it right now. You see the sophomore Malcolm Moore throws a strike, and just like that, there's 1 out and nobody on.
Waved at by Lomavita. 1-2 the count on the Cal catcher. And a nice throw by Malcolm Moore to get that out with Green running. Pitch way high.
But it is interesting, don't you think, that he took off right then with no outs?
With 1 out, you mean?
Or excuse me, with 1 out and Caleb at the dish.
And Lomavita fooled. Couple of strikeouts for Aiden Keenan in the first. As we are scoreless through 1. Stanford and Cal onto the second. And this was the plan going in for David Esker and Thomas Eager tonight. As Keenan was going to start, throw about somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 pitches. And then they were going to get Volchko in there and let him run for a little while. Green the other way, flies shallow left, and it bloops in there for a hit. And Rodney Green hit number 2 for Cal, leadoff single the other way. It wasn't loud contact, but it was good contact for Rodney Green.
It got in on him a little bit, but the beauty of baseball, it's not how hard you hit it. Although exit velocity is very popular now, that's still a single, and he still got on first base. So
he's on. Caleb Lomavita struck out of the first. Volchko delivers, and that's in there for a strike.
Now, there's a lot of reasons why I don't think Rodney Green Jr. will run right now. There's no outs. You got one of the best hitters up in the country, and Caleb Lomavita. But you also got the fastball of Volchko. It's going to get up to the plate 95 to 98. So Malcolm Moore is going to get it a little bit sooner than normal, right? But there's
some of the scouts sitting behind home plate. I'm looking for a radar gun. I don't see the gun, but I see a lot of video getting taken by the scouts.
Well, no, they have guns on their phones now. Not literal guns, just so you know. Radar guns. I don't want anybody sending me social media and like, what are you, crazy? Well,
Lomavita down swinging, one gone. Rodney Green at first. Max Handren, the batter. He was hit by a pitch, and he was aboard on the bases clearing triple by Jaron Advincula in the second. Runner at first, one out. Volchko appeared once over the weekend against Rice. And Handren goes the other way and slices that one off toward the Stanford bullpen, but it lands on that side warning track.
Well, that's the fastball that Roxy had talked about right there. This pitch is on the inside part, and there is absolutely
96.
no chance right now that Handren's going to get turn on this thing on the inside part. And you can see the Stanford outfield, with the exception of Brady Reynolds in right, everybody's shaded to the left.
Did he go? No, on appeal.
And keep in mind, that's a changeup following 97-98, right? And you see the anxiousness from Handren trying to get it, cheat a little bit on that fastball.
Worked a third of an inning against Rice on Friday. And there was the slider from Volchko. It's 1-2. Again, it going to show you he's got the arm talent. He's just trying to harness it.
Well, this is one of these guys. Literally, when you watch him pitch, and if you're a scout or you're a coach or you're recruiting, when this kid was in high school.
Green running. Handren fought it off at the plate.
But you look at him and you go, what? What are we looking at here? Because, to your point, when these kind of kids, if they can harness what you see and get consistent with it, the sky's the limit.
Worked a third of an inning against Rice on Friday with a strikeout. Although he did walk two. And that's in the dirt. Green stays at first base, and it's 2-2. Again, the slider from Volchko.
It's a great, great job by Malcolm Moore to block this pitch.
He already threw out Rodney Green trying to steal ones tonight, which is an impressive task to say the least. There's a bouncer to second. Fielded, Owen Cobb to Trevor Haskins. On to first. They double up Handren, and the side is retired. Double play ball, tailor-made for Joey Volchko. 3-0 Cal as we're on to the fourth. Cal up 3-0 on the Cardinals. We go to the fourth, middle third of the order. Trevor Haskins, Luke Lavin, Timo Becerra due up for David Esker and the Cardinals. You look at your preseason coaches poll. Here's how they voted, picking Oregon State to win the league, and I'm not going to disagree with the coaches on that one.
No, they are absolutely stellar.
But that's how you see them vote. And the interesting thing is Utah and Washington State are off to really good starts. And they were picked 10th and 11th in the league respectively. First pitch, Haskins, keeping Rodney Green busy out there at center field.
Well, you mentioned Utah. They spent a majority of their season here in California, going up and down the coast. Gary Anderson's done a great job with the Utes after taking over that program from longtime head coach Billy Kennenberg. You know him.
Yes, I do. As Utah in the Bay Area tonight, they're playing Santa Clara. As the Broncos in the seventh leading the Utes 3-2. 6 games involving Pac-12 teams tonight, including this one here. As Luke Lavin flew out to center in the second. Arizona State got a win. They beat Texas Arlington on the road 6-3 today. And a called strike to Lavin.
Oregon on the road for a series against Grand Canyon. Should be entertaining.
Nick McClain drove in 4 for the Sun Devils today. And it's 2-1 on Lavin. And that game down in the desert as the Ducks, Mark Wasikowski's team making the Supers last year, lost a heartbreaker to Oral Roberts at PK Park. As a bouncer to first, Peyton Schultz handles it, takes it himself, 2 gone. And the Ducks win behind Brock Moore, 9-4. as they beat Grand Canyon. Turner Spoljaric started that game for Oregon. Bradley Mullen got the save for the Ducks. They hit 3 homers, including Jacob Walsh, in that game. 9-4, they win at Grand Canyon.
That's tough to win there. That's a great program. Andy Stankiewicz obviously had their program previous, but they are still a great program. Of course, Andy Stankiewicz, now the head coach at USC.
And the Trojans 4-4 with Cal State Fullerton at Goodwin Field in the 6th inning in Southern California. Over the mound, and at Vincula at second base, handles it, and Luke Short, another 1-2-3 inning. He's retired 7 straight. We're on to the home 4th. Here come the Golden Bears. We're on to the home half of the 4th inning. Peyton Schultz, Carson Crawford, Alec Rich, 5, 6, and 7. Against Joey Volchko's out there for a 2nd inning of duty. After impressive bottom of the 3rd for the freshman righty for the Cardinal. Peyton Schultz struck out in the 2nd, leading it off here in the 4th.
You know, if you looked him from the side, Noah Syndergaard.
See some of that, yeah.
Twice in a broadcast, you agreed with me?
96. It's fouled away. 0-1 the count. One other game. UCLA is at Blair Field, taking on Long Beach State tonight. As John Savage's Bruins will be here this weekend, open up Pac-12 play against Cal. As the Beach leads UCLA 1-0, they're in the 8th in Long Beach. Just getting a piece is Schultz of the slider.
This is one of these pitches where if you're a Cal hitter and you go back to the bench and next hitter on deck, what's he got? All you got to do is just say, you don't see? Just watch.
Just off the outside. One and 2 on Peyton Schultz. Joey Volchko delivers. That ball's pulled into left over the lunging third baseman Timo Becerra. Hit number 3 for California. And for the 3rd consecutive inning, Cal's got the leadoff guy on.
Well, it's a breaking ball that Volchko just hangs up in the top of the zone. And Schultz does a good job of hooking it in the 5-6 hole. And just like that, as you mentioned, another leadoff hitter on for the Bears.
So runner at first base. That'll bring up Carson Crawford, who walked in the 2nd. Nice job by Malcolm Moore to block that pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Peyton Schultz, the runner at first. Crawford late on a 96-mile-per-hour heater from Volchko.
Well, the bottom drops out of that one. I mean, you're looking at 96, and it's sinking.
Two and 1. Must be awesome for a pitcher when they take something off and it's still 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, and again, it'll make hitters anxious, right? Because they're trying to cheat a little bit because of the fastball. So anything soft, whether it be slider, changeup, and or sinker, they're going to be jumpy and have a hard time checking.
Three-two. Crawford in the air, pushing foul, and it gets out of play. And that was 96 from Joey Volchko.
And then I'll tell you, just how good the fastball is. And a lot of times, look, we're fascinated with guns and radar and velo and all this kind of stuff. But the best, when you want to ask somebody how good somebody's fastball is, just watch the hitters. Watch how the hitters look against the fastball.
Got him. Good pitch from Volchko, and that's second strikeout for the Stanford freshman righty.
Up next, number 14, Alex.
Well, this is a slider on the outside part, and it's, again, we're just talking about a youngster out there that is just loaded with talent. And Volchko.
Runner at first, one out. Alec Rich, the left fielder. And fastball in there at 97, and Rich is going, you know, I didn't see arms like this when I was playing in Middlebury. One strike pitch. Catches the top of the zone at 95. And it's 0-2 on Alec Rich. 3-0 Cal here in the fourth as Volchko just missing high. Cal got all three in the second on a 3-run triple off the bat of Jaron Advincula. By the way, UCLA is threatening right now Long Beach State. 1-0 in the eighth, but the Bruins have runners at the corners with nobody out. And Rich goes down swinging. Another strikeout for Volchko, 2 away. Schultz still at first base for Seth Gwynn.
And this is exactly what Thomas Eager, the pitching coach for the Cardinal, and David Esker wanted for Volchko, is to get him a little success, get his feet wet some more, being a freshman. And again, you project him, obviously you would like to see him as a starter, right? You'd like him to throw 9 innings every time you run out there. But right now, they're just trying to get his feet wet and get him to feel good about himself and say, hey, I can do the same thing I did in high school at D1 baseball. It doesn't matter, I'm a freshman.
That is 1-0. Skied by Gwynn behind the plate. Malcolm Moore, and he watched it sail back into the crowd. One ball, one strike the count. And the impressive right-hander Volchko taking over for Aiden Keenan, who made the start tonight. But Volchko, 6'4", 205 pounds. And at Redwood High School in Visalia. In the dirt, 2-1 the count. And his dad was a college basketball player. Randy Volchko played at Westminster College in Utah. First team All-American last year in high school, Volchko. And just missed with 95. It's 3-1. And last year, Volchko had 135 strikeouts in 59 innings. Think about that.
So
Bounce or foul. That's more than 2 strikeouts per inning.
Yeah, math's my favorite subject. I thought you were going to let me handle that one. It's more than 2 strikeouts per inning.
Yes. And he also hit .442 with 8 homers. He was ranked the number 37 overall prospect by Baseball America, ranking the top 500 coming out of high school. And that just missed down low. And Gwynn is aboard, walking for the second time. And Cal's got 2 on with 2 out for Jaron Advincula.
Number 1.
Well, this was Advincula the last time up.
Well, he takes his high fastball up in his zone, gets his bat up there, and clears the bases for a 3-run triple. And that's where we stand right now. But let's go back to the last pitch that we saw from Volchko right there. It's a slider, right? With 2 strikes? I don't know. Now again, Thomas Eager and David Esker know their pitcher better than I do. But it's just an interesting pitch in that count.
0-1 the count on Jaron Advincula. Peyton Schultz at second, Seth Gwynn at first. The pitch, and that's in the dirt. And the runners will move up on a wild pitch. Fastball spiked by Volchko. Peyton Schultz goes to third. And now Cal is 2 in scoring position with Gwynn at second base.
I'll bring it up.
1-1 to Advincula. Slider waved out and missed. 1-2.
But we talk about the freshman, right? He's young. He's out here, D1. Trevor Haskins on the previous pitch, 2 pitches ago, went behind the bag to pick, right? And as a pitcher, you're never supposed to leave your shortstop hanging at the bag, right? You're either going to step off, but you definitely don't throw because now you have a shortstop that's out of position. And then, of course, there's a wild pitch. But those are the little itty-bitty things that Thomas Eager, when he comes off the mound into the dugout, he'll talk to him about.
Runners lead, 2-2 on Advincula. Pulled on the ground, near the bag at first, kicks off Jimmy Nada into foul ground, and that'll score 1. And the throw back to the infield gets away, and Cal gets 2 out of it. 5-0, and an error keeps it going for the Golden Bears.
Well, this is a situation where Jimmy Nadi at first base, he will go back in and say, hey, that's my bad the entire play. Number 1, he boots the ball, but number 2, you need to understand who's running, right? Prior to every pitch being thrown, as an infielder, you need to know who's running. So once that ball is booted, he's got to run to go get it in foul ground. He knows instinctively he should that he's got no chance there. And on top of that, he's throwing to a pitcher who's running as fast as he can to get to the bag. So there's nothing good that's going to happen when that throw gets released from Nadi. Best play he could have made is just ate it and then only be down 4 runs.
Runner goes. P.J. Moutsouridis taps it foul up the third base side. And Advincula running on the pitch to go back to first base. So it's a 5-0 lead for Cal. And an error on Jimmy Nadi. Five nothing Bears. Runner at first and 2 away. Volchko. Here it comes. And Moutsouridis fights it off. So the official scoring goes an infield hit for Jaron Advincula. He'll get an RBI. And then an error on Jimmy Nadi on a throw, allowing the second run, Seth Gwynn, to score. 5-0 Cal, bottom 4. And there's a bouncer over the mound near the bag at second, backhanded by Owen Cobb. And he gets the force on Jaron Advincula at second base to end the inning. But 2 more for Cal. We're headed to the 5th. The Golden Bears up 5-0, bottom of the order. Changes and upgrades really for this Cal team. And Mike New's really excited about this season and the potential for this team. But one of the reasons why he is so excited is the defense is much better for Cal than it was, especially in the middle of the diamond. And you saw the freshman right there, Moutsouridis, handle it. Luke Short's retired 8 in a row. Strike 1 to Jake Sapien.
Well, very rarely you're going to have a shortstop come in as a freshman and be the starter at D1. It's just not going to happen very much. Cody Schreier at UCLA is one that did it. Deuce Gorson on the other side.
And UCLA, Ryan Kreidler ended up being a good shortstop,
right.
But he started his career at third base.
Right, where the phenom is now for UCLA.
Kreidler then, of course, now with the Tigers, was up in the big leagues last year. Two and one on Sapien, who walked in the second. Activity starting in the Cal bullpen. Was short over 60 pitches now. And Short is used to starting. Now, in his first 2 starts, he lasted a total of 6 2/3. And he was the number 2 starter for Mike New to start the year. And he pitched on each of the first 2 Saturdays, but then because of weather in Vegas, did not start this past Saturday against Oklahoma. Sapien on the ground toward the middle of the diamond, and it trickles through, and that'll be an infield hit. And Jake Sapien is on the second hit for the Cardinal. 1 out base runner, and even if P.J. Mutsaritas had come up with it, Sapien runs well. Not sure they get him.
No, they don't. They don't at all. I mean, Mutsaritas does a good job to get his glove on it. And see a good job by Advin.
Come on, you can say it. Advincula.
Advincula?
No.
No, I didn't.
No, you butchered it.
Well, because you knew I was going to.
So you felt the pressure. I understand.
No, it wasn't pressure. It's just me.
You got this one. Owen Cobb is the batter.
This is beautiful. Owen Cobb.
Facing Luke Short.
Well, speaking of Luke Short, and something about left-handers, when they get going, it's a thing of beauty, right? And Luke Short has been sensational since the first, second inning, right?
Bunted, tough play. Short fires and gets him at first. Owen Cobb trying to put one down. And how about the ability for Luke Short to make the play? His cat-like reflexes off the hill.
Well, it was a great play by Luke Short coming off the mound. The thing that I would tell Owen Cobb, you got a left-hand pitcher, so which side of the mound is he falling off of? He's falling off on the third base side. So that's the easy side for a left-hand pitcher to field a bunt. Ideally, if you're going to bunt against a left-hander, you want to push it to the right side of the infield where it's wide, wide open.
Top of the order, Court McDonald takes a strike. He's 0 for 2 with a line out and a strikeout.
But back to left-handers when they get in a rhythm, they're no different than shooters, right? Pitchers are no different than shooters in basketball, right? Basketball shooter gets hot, get him the ball. It's the same thing with when pitchers get in the groove. Just get him the ball, give me the ball, and throw another pitch. Give me the ball, throw another pitch.
Showing bunt was McDonald, and it's a strike. I don't think he agreed with Nathan White, the plate umpire.
Well, it's an interesting time to show a bunt with 2 outs and a runner at second. We'll get a look at the pitch.
Well, he's clearly not putting it down for a sacrifice.
No. And that's got enough of the plate. I mean, on the outside part.
Yo, 2. McDonald, tough play toward the first base line, and Short tags him going by.
Boy, we got some left-hander on a mound doing some PFP, pitcher's fielding practice.
Luke Short showing off his ability to field his position. The runner left. To the home 5th we go. Cal leads Stanford 5-0 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Rodney Green Jr., Caleb Lomavita, Max Handren 2, 3, and 4 for the Bears in the 5th. But what about the defense by pitcher Luke Short?
Well, he's been sensational on the mound so far, but he jumps off the mound to get a bunt by Owen Cobb, makes a good throw. But this is the beauty. This is the beauty. It's a chopper, and you're taught as a pitcher, you get the ball, keep running, and that's exactly what he did.
Get me to the chopper. Oh, he did. Come on, it was Mike Schwarzenegger. Didn't know?
Oh, my goodness gracious. I mean, you're kind of old for me. I mean, I don't know some of the stuff that you do, you know? How old was that?
Did they wear batting helmets when you played at Arizona? Rodney Green Jr. has walked and singled so far tonight. Joey Volchko has looked terrific for Stanford. Just so impressive with his
arsenal.
Yeah.
I mean,
fastball
that's what it is.
In the mid to high 90s. This is a good battle right here. Rodney Green Jr. Top hitters in the country. It's one of the top young arms in the country. And Joey Volchko. Just darted the outside corner at 96. Good luck hitting that one.
Well, Rodney Green didn't like it, and you watched the reaction.
Take the bat here. You try to hit that.
No, I'm not hitting that on 2-1.
And spiked that fastball, and the count is full on Green. Well, the Bruins are turned away by the Beach, 1-0 Long Beach. They're in the bottom of the 8th now. And again, Long Beach. And UCLA in a midweek game going at it down at Blair Field as Green waves at a slider and another strikeout, the fourth for Volchko. And the Bruins will be here as Pac-12 play opens this weekend. As Caleb Lomavita, now the batter, has struck out twice. And boy, what a boost it is for Cal. If looks short, struggled his first couple of outings for Mike New. But Short, if he can harness this, and he had been a weekend starter up until tonight.
Well,
Lomavita takes a strike at 97.
I don't want to say remind you, but it looks like he could have the potential to be somebody like a Quinn Matthews that Stanford had, right? Not overpowering.
That's some lofty comparison right there. You're talking about the Pac-12 pitcher of the year last.
No, I said potential, right? Again, he's a young kid, right? So we don't.
No, Short's a grad transfer.
Huh?
Luke Short's a grad transfer.
Everybody's young to me. Well, all right? Everybody's young to me.
The earth is young to you.
What did you say?
Swing and a miss by Lomavita.
What did you just say?
But here's what I'm getting at as far as Short. Is Ian May is coming back soon for Cal, who was their #1 starter last year. Hasn't thrown an inning yet this year.
Could be this weekend,
because of an elbow injury. And talking to Mike New pregame, he said there's a chance he could be back as soon as this weekend. That he's faced live hitters now. And Ian May, who, when he is healthy, he is a frontline rotation guy for Cal. And then if you can throw in Short, the way the freshman Newman has pitched so far, Trey Newman, as Lomavita pulls it past the lunging Timo Becerra in left. And Lomavita took a wide turn around first. Hit number 4 for Cal. That ball pulled sharply through the left side.
Well, it's a breaking pitch. It's the second breaking pitch that's been hooked by a Cal hitter in the 5-6 hole. You'll get a look at it. There it is, and Lomavita makes contact for the first time tonight.
So he's aboard with 1 out. Max Handren, double play ball in the 3rd, hit by a pitch in the 2nd. And Lomavita, even though he's a catcher, runs extremely well at first base. 95 outside for a ball.
But back to your point about Short, okay? Granted, again, Quinn Matthews, lofty, right? I mean, he was tremendous. And no better performance than the Super Regional, the outing he threw. But when left-handers that are not overpowering, and Quinn wasn't overpowering, Quinn Matthews wasn't overpowering, he just was very, very witty. And he located very well. But that's what we're seeing tonight from Short. He's not overpowering. 90 mile-an-hour fastball.
Fooled Handren there with the slider.
At best, 89, 90. But the reason he's been successful tonight, Short, is because he's gotten ahead. He's always been ahead.
1-1 the count. Lomavita stretches out that lead over at first base. Now he runs. Malcolm Moore, throw down to second. Got him. That's the second runner that Malcolm Moore has thrown out trying to steal. He got Rodney Green Jr. earlier, and now he nails Lomavita.
Well, he got a good pitch, did Malcolm Moore, to throw out a runner. It's up and away, and it almost looks like effectively a pitch out, right? Because it's up and away, and he throws a strike to Cobb on the second base side of the bag for his second caught stealing of the night.
So Malcolm Moore throws out his counterpart as Handren bounces it foul. The first time this season in 5 tries that Lomavita has been thrown out stealing.
Well, Cal came into this game 14 out of 17. They're suddenly 14 out of 19 because of Malcolm Moore.
Well, freshman All-American last year behind the dish for Stanford. 2 of the elite catchers in the country in this game. When you look at Moore and the guy he just threw out, Caleb Lomavita.
Well, Malcolm was the top catching recruit in the country coming out of high school.
Hit sharply on the ground, but handled it short by Trevor Haskins, and he throws out Max Handren. 1 hit, nobody left for Cal. We're through 5. Malcolm Moore due up second in the top of the 6th. Cal up 5-0. 5-0, Cal leads Stanford as we're on to the 6th. And David Esker, look, they were ranked in the preseason top 25, and David Esker knew this was going to be a work in progress this year with so many young new faces. And this is what he lost last year. Tommy Troy, a first-round draft pick, 12th overall, the Diamondbacks. The Pac-12 Player of the Year, Alberto Rios. 3rd round of the Angels, Quinn Matthews, the Pac-12 Pitcher of the Year. 4th round of the Cardinals, Ryan Bruno, effective out of the bullpen. Joey Dixon was a guy that David Esker was hoping would come back for one more year, but he was drafted after his junior year by the Astros. Carter Graham, the slugging first baseman. Eddie Park, who turned into a terrific player. For Stanford, Drew Dowd, who was a starter last year. That doesn't even include Drew Bowser, who was drafted in the later rounds, and Braden Montgomery, who, after his first 2 years at Stanford, elected to transfer and made a, curious decision leaving Stanford and going somewhere else. He went to A&M.
He did go to A&M. Now, ironically, that's who they played in the regional.
Yeah.
But when you add up all the production of all the hitters that Stanford lost from last year, it's only
953 home runs. Well, no, it wasn't that.
90 home runs, and 377 RBIs cumulative. I mean,
and also you lost your workhorse, the Pac-12 Pitcher of the Year in Quinn Matthews, who had a legendary performance to get Stanford deeper into that Super Regional and get them to the College World Series. Jimmy Nadai lays off. He is 0 for 2 tonight.
I mean, you lost your top 4 hitters in your lineup. I mean, if you didn't see Stanford hit last year, I mean...
Well, you lost 8 of your 9 guys in your lineup.
Yeah, it was just
essentially.
But then, we say that, right? And then you think about, as you see ball 4...
3rd walk issued by Luke Short.
But then you think about the Arizona lineup, right? With Chase Davis...
First time Stanford's had the leadoff guy on tonight.
And Kiko Romero last year on the offensive numbers they put up. But this is going to be interesting to see the Cal bullpen right now. You get a leadoff walk when you're cruising like this, and you got a 5-0 lead, and you're Mike New. You're saying, hey, he's given us 5 innings right now, and that bullpen for Cal is heating up in a hurry.
And you're going through the meat of the order. As Malcolm Moore, as the mound visit for Chris Boderspa, the pitching coach for Cal.
But 2 of the next 3 hitters for the Cardinal are left-hand hitters. And Moore, and then 2 away is Lavin.
Now the plate umpire, Nathan White, going out to break up the meeting. And
this was a buy some more time for the pen to heat up. That's all that was. This is the thing that I love, right? The glove over the mouth. I will tell you, this fascinates me, and it has for years and years and years and years. I will tell you, if somebody can read lips from 90 feet away, good luck.
Well, it's Stanford kids. I wouldn't put it past them.
Okay. Well, I guess it's me. But with that being said, if I'm a hitter, let me see. I'm going to read some lips that he's going to throw a slider here, and then I'll get a fastball in the ear. You just would never do that.
Snap throw to first by Short. As Jimmy Nadai, the runner, after the leadoff walk. So there is a lefty and a righty up in the bullpen right now for Cal. Skied out of play by Malcolm Moore, and it's going to be an interesting ride for Malcolm Moore this year. Last year, as you look at the Cal bullpen, you have Logan Piper, the lefty, and he's got company with the righty. Jack Gardiensic also is down there getting loose. But Malcolm Moore had all this protection around him last year, and all the powerful bats. Rios, Montgomery, Graham.
Yeah, he hit behind Montgomery, but he had Bowser behind him.
But this year, it's when the opposing pitching coaches are going over the scouting report with their pitchers, and they're talking about Stanford. Malcolm Moore was not the first guy on their list last year.
He is now.
He is now. And that's the adjustment. He's not going to get great pitches to hit. It's just until the guys around him prove that they can do it, they're going to, maybe Malcolm Moore will see a couple of pitches to hit.
Well, it's no disrespect to Trevor Haskins, who hits behind him. But reality is reality. Malcolm Moore is a super talent. He's a great, great talent. And the one thing we saw from this freshman last year, Roxy, that you knew he was going to be a good hitter. And forget the numbers. Like I said, it's early in the season. He's hitting 220 or whatever, 222 or something. But with that said, the thing that was most impressive about Malcolm as a hitter is how he hit left-handed pitchers.
Chased the breaking ball there, and he's down swinging.
And right on cue.
Fourth strikeout for Luke Short. Way to go, Wes.
Well, right on cue. It's a great, great curveball on the outside part. Malcolm thinks he's trying to get home plate umpire Nathan White to believe him that he foul-tipped that ball, but
if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Now that's not good advice.
Trevor Haskins, a couple of flyouts to center. He's 0 for 2. Cleanup batter for the Cardinal. And that looping curve drops in there for Luke Short, and a called strike to Trevor Haskins.
You need to get rid of that saying, if you ain't cheating. I mean, that's just not good. That's just really bad. Now, this one here is the one that gets me, too. You got a 5-0 lead, right? Where is Nati going to go? Chasing 5 runs. He's not going to go anywhere. But that said, that trip out there to the mound, he could have been told, hey, make some picks to first because we're going to get the pin hot just in case. Now, I wouldn't say that, but it could have been.
Haskins, another fly to center. He's 3 for 3 finding Rodney Green Jr. tonight. And there's 2 gone as Rodney Green has had an active night out there in center.
If I'm not mistaken, Haskins has hit one in left center, dead center, and now right center.
So 2 outs. Here is Luke Lavin for the Cardinal. So another put out for Rodney Green out there in center field, and Rodney Green now has 8 putouts. Lavin a fly out to Rodney Green Jr. as well as a ground out. He's 0 for 2. Stanford has only 2 hits. The double by Brady Reynolds in the 2nd and the hit by Jake Sapien in the 5th. Boy, Short has excellent command of that curveball. It has been sharp tonight. Division II grad transfer.
Well, he said 82 pitches, now 83. My guess is if he gets out of this inning, that'll be it.
Last year, Luke Short, pitching for St. Edwards in Texas, went 12-1 with a 2.45 ERA. 130 strikeouts in 99 1/3 innings. Popped up, crossing into foul ground. Max Handren behind third. He's got it. As Short puts up another 0, pitches around the leadoff walk. We're going to the bottom of the 6th. Schultz, Crawford, Rich due up for Cal. They lead 5-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for medium rare.
Hi.
Chocolate.
Deep tissue.
Oh, just buy them already.
Omakase. Lady freaking Gaga?
You know who loves you? MGM, baby.
Say hello to future you. You made some bad money moves.
So no vacations for you.
Never got a credit card with rewards.
Norway will never see your fjords.
All these places will never go.
Here isn't us in Mexico.
Don't make your future you hate you.
Start making smarter financial decisions today. NerdWallet. Finance smarter.
Here's to the healthy heroes. The gluten-free gladiators. The plant-based pioneers. This is our refuge, where we forage fresh produce Delight in the delicious. Covet the...
Cal continues to lead Stanford 5-0 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. And for the Cardinal, after 3 innings from Joey Volchko, they go to the bullpen and bring in Trevor Moore as the right-hander, the sophomore from Golden, Colorado, who pitched well last Monday in a start against San Jose State, as Moore went 4 2/3 innings, giving up 3 unearned runs with 4 strikeouts. And there are the numbers for Moore so far this season. And he will face the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for Cal. But Joey Volchko, who went 3 innings, giving up the 2 unearned runs, struck out 4, walked 1 in his 3 innings of duty tonight, and now turns it over to Trevor Moore, as the sophomore made 8 appearances last year, including 1 start, was 0-1, threw only 6 2/3 innings last year. Peyton Schultz singled and scored in the 2nd. He's 1 for 2, and Schultz fouls it straight back. And Trevor Moore, who is a 2nd-generation Stanford player. His dad, Tim, played for the Cardinal back in the early 90s, drafted by the White Sox in the 5th round back in 1992.
Well, Moore's going to feature a fastball up to 94. He's also got an interesting splitter, and then, of course, the breaking ball, the slider.
Top of the zone to Peyton Schultz for a strike. Way outside.
Did I mention this first time I've done a game here in 10 years?
When was the last time you did a game here?
Never. Never. And unfortunately, it'll be the last time.
Fouled away by Peyton Schultz. Never say never.
Well, I was going to say, well, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Catch it on.
No, I'll never say that, like ever. You need to delete it.
Schultz in the air, deep right center, hustling back as McDonald has room. Reaches the rim of the warning track. And there's one away here in the last of the 6th. Carson Crawford coming up 0 for 1 with a walk tonight. It's a final from Long Beach. The Dirtbags beating UCLA. They shut out the Bruins 2-0. And again, UCLA coming to play Cal this weekend to open up conference play, while Stanford opening up Pac-12 play in Seattle at Husky Ballpark. Yes, we have conference play starting this weekend, and Oregon State, who is the preseason favorite in the conference, will have a non-conference series hosting the Matadors from CSUN in Corvallis this weekend.
Well, I think they just played North Dakota State up in Corvallis and had to come back and score 5 runs in the 7th inning, I believe, to beat North Dakota State.
Help finish off the sweep.
If you haven't seen Oregon State, they are a tremendously loaded team.
Carson Crawford out number 2 as Trevor Moore gets the strikeout. 2 gone for Alec Rich, the Cal left fielder.
Mitch Canham's done a real good job since he took over for the legend Pat Casey.
Oregon is at Arizona State this weekend. That's an interesting series.
It is. It is. Arizona's playing at USC. Now, USC is not playing at Dedeaux Field this year.
Correct. They are bouncing around Southern California. Numerous home ballparks for the Trojans. And a lot of their games down in Irvine. They're playing some at Loyola Marymount. Going to be an interesting few years for Andy Stankiewicz dealing with the construction of the new ballpark there at USC, where Dedeaux Field is. They're upgrading it, turning the field a bit.
They're going to get it closer to Vermont, I believe. They want it. It's going to be closer and bigger, and then the facilities are going to get better. But it's this, right? It's Dado Field, right? And how many superstars? I mean, you got the most national championships in the country at USC.
12. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him. And a nice, clean 1-2-3 inning. Trevor Moore looking sharp. 94 and that strikeout of Alec Rich. We're headed to the 7th. 5-0 California. California 5, Stanford nothing as we head to the 7th with Wes Clements and our Pac-12 network crew. Roxy Bernstein with you. Cal goes to the bullpen after 6 outstanding innings from Luke Short. Tucker Bougie takes over on the mound for Cal as the right-hander, the junior from Mill Valley up in the North Bay. Not great numbers in limited innings so far this year for Tucker Bougie.
Yeah, but you don't pay attention to the numbers. It's 3 2/3. You know, as the season goes on, you'll see different things from Cal, and you'll see different things from Stanford. You know, Stanford was picked to finish 2nd in the Pac-12 this year, and as the season started, if you watched them play, you'd say, what? But as David Esker's teams normally do, they will gel. They're going to be a different team this year. They're going to be a hit-and-run team. Contact, not a lot of power. And then on the other side, we'll see Cal's pitching staff start to solidify a little bit with the addition of May.
1-1 the count on Timo Becerra. Brady Reynolds, Jake Sapien to follow for the Cardinal. Becerra 0 for 1 with a walk. And he skies this one behind second, angling out, waiting for it to come down as Jaron Advincula makes the catch. Becerra retired, 1 away. Here comes Brady Reynolds, who doubled back in the 2nd, one of Stanford's 2 hits in the ballgame.
Now I want to transition to basketball just for a little bit. You didn't say anything about my 4 teams, that we deserve 4 teams in the postseason. At Oregon, Colorado, Arizona.
What about Utah? That ball's ripped to right. And a 2-hit night for Brady Reynolds, a sharp single. And a 1-out base runner for the Cardinal.
Okay, I'll go 5 with the Utes.
You're not quite Walton, who has 9 of the 12 teams in, but you're getting there.
Who's Walton?
Okay. Nice talking to you.
You mean, oh, your best buddy, Bill.
Jake
Walton.
Sapien is walked and singled. And he chased a breaking ball from Tucker Bougie for strike 1.
You know, my dream was to have, not dream, but I wish that Walton could do a game with us. Bill would be kind of fun.
You think he dreams of doing a game with you?
Why wouldn't he? You do.
Keep telling yourself that. 0-2 the count on Sapien. Good breaking ball from Tucker Bougie. USC, by the way, leading at Fullerton 6-5 in the 8th. A good win for the Trojans and Andy Stankiewicz, who got off to a little bit of a rough start to the season. Some expectations. Jake Overn, one of the most dynamic players in the country, as Sapien lines it to left for a hit. Quickly getting to it, Alec Rich fires it in. Stopping at second is Brady Reynolds. Back-to-back hits, and boy, that was an impressive piece of hitting from Sapien, who was down, looked like around his ankles.
Well, it's a breaking pitch, and you're right, Rox. It's down, 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 but he goes down to get it and sets up the Cardinal 1st and 2nd here, chasing 5 runs. But this is the Cardinal team that you're going to see this year. Again, not to harp on it, but they don't have a lot of power, so they have to put singles and doubles together to create runs.
2 on, 1 out. Owen Cobb. It's 0 for 2 tonight. A fly out, trying to bunt his way on last time. Final, Santa Clara beat Utah tonight 5-2 down to the South Bay as Cobb takes a strike. ASU winning at UTA. Oregon winning at Grand Canyon earlier today. 1-1. Stanford trying to push their way back into this here. 2 on, 1 out. A couple of singles against Tucker Bougie. Owen Cobb takes a fastball in there at 89. One ball, one strike. Activity continues in the Cal bullpen. Fouled away.
Boy, that is a tremendous fastball from Bougie. I mean, that's about 94, 95 on the outside part, and Cobb does a good job just to foul it off.
Connor Sullivan, a right-hander, tuning up. Senior for Cal. Brady Reynolds at second, Jake Sapien, the runner at first. Bougie, the 1-2 to Cobb. Swinging a ball, popped up, over toward the line in right, camping under it. And Seth Gwynn puts it away, the runner's bluff, as Gwynn fires it back to the infield. I take it back, that's Rich out there in right, and Gwynn is in left. That's not where they were when they started the game. They flipped at some point in game.
Well, why not? They're corners. Rodney Green was having none of it.
He's got center field and left center and right center. Top of the order, Court McDonald, 0 for 3. Fouled away. Rodney Green's kind of like Kelly Leak from the Bad News Bears. Anything that he can get to, he's going to catch.
You know, how many movies do you know? How many sayings in movies from movies do you know?
I have a plethora in my arsenal.
Plethora is my word.
I have a myriad of options in my arsenal.
Very
How's
good.
that?
Very
All
good.
right.
Plethora is mine. I'm the only one that basically understands that plethora is spelled started with a P.
Oh, you're the only one.
Between us, yeah.
2 on, 2 out. In the dirt, breaking for third as Loma Vita's thrown, not in time. And that's a gutsy play by Reynolds. If you're going to go in that situation, you better get third. And Brady Reynolds just did beat the throw.
Well, you are right. I mean, Caleb Loma Vita does a great job of blocking his ball, but a better job of getting up on his feet and throwing a strike down to third to Handren. And to your point, if Reynolds gets thrown out there, that's ugly.
So the wild pitch advances Reynolds. 2-1 and McDonald. In the air, slicing out of play. Into the Stanford bullpen. And the count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes on the center fielder. Leadoff batter for the Cardinal, Court McDonald.
Now, I'm not one that subscribes about that theory that you can't make the first or third out at third base, because that's just absolutely ridiculous.
But in a 5-0 game, you
can't
get thrown out.
In a 5-0 lead, you cannot. You have become amazing at baseball.
Strike 3 called, ran it over the inside edge, and Tucker Bougie is pumped coming off the mound. Stanford Strands 2 are stretching in Berkeley. 5-0 Cal. Good crowd, 7th inning stretch in Berkeley. Non-conference game between Cal and Stanford. They will have at the end of April their regular conference series on the farm. And they'll have one more non-conference meeting here at Evans Diamond, Stu Gordon Stadium later in the season. But Cal with 3 runs in the second, 2 in the fourth, a 5-0 lead, and Tucker Bougie is pumped after escaping that jam.
Well, he gets out of the first and third jam, and it's a little bit different when you come into the dugouts these days.
The Trevor Moore continues on the hill for the Cardinal, 8-9-1 for Cal. Seth Gwynn Jaron Advincula, and then the top of the order, P.J. Moutsouridis for California. Seth Gwynn has scored 2 runs. He has walked twice tonight. Started the game in right, then he swings at the fly ball to left. Over toward the line goes Luke Lavin, who circles under it to make the catch. And there's one gone here in the last of the 7th inning. But Seth Gwynn switched to left there in the 7th inning, and the left fielder, Alec Rich, moved over to right. There's one away. Trevor Moore has retired all 4 since coming in, and here comes Jaron Advincula, that 3-run triple back in the 2nd. And he had the ball that was mishandled by Jimmy Nadai in the 4th that allowed 2 unearned runs to score for Cal. One 1-0 on Advincula. His dad played at San Jose State. Talked about his brother Jonah, he was so fun to watch for Washington State last year. Slap foul.
Speaking of Washington State, new head coach, Nathan Choate, former head coach at Loyola Marymount. Brian Green heads off to...
Nathan Choate, not Choate.
Well, again, over-under for names that I messed up.
Slap just wide of the bag at 3rd.
What was it, 4?
Oh. I lost track. I can't count that high.
Well, I think I'm at 3. But Brian Green headed to Wichita State.
2-2 on Jaron Advincula. And he lays off the breaking ball in the dirt. Full count on the Cal freshman second baseman. Washington State 7-4. Even with the loss for Utah tonight. Again, the Cougs in Utah were picked to come in at the bottom of the conference. Utah's 9-3. They played some really good baseball early in the year.
They have.
And that's ball 4 as Advincula takes down and in. The first base runner surrendered by Trevor Moore. And a 1-out walk back to the top of the order. Here comes P.J. Moutsouridis, who's 0 for 3 tonight. Oregon with their win today. Mark Wasikowski's team now 8-3. Runner at first, 1 out. Back to the top of the Cal order. Moutsouridis hitting in the leadoff spot for the first time, as Max Handren had been the leadoff guy for Cal. But Mike New moving some pieces around tonight. Bunted. The pitcher Moore rifles it to first, and the sacrifice advances Jaron Advincula to second base.
I'm interested to find out how the score scores this, because with 1 out, I'm not sure that Mike New is sacrificing the runner to second. But again, we'll find out.
Well, you move that runner along, give Rodney Green a chance of the guy at second base.
No, I get the premise behind it, if that was the case. I'm just not sure that I'm not convinced, I should say, that Moutsouridis was sacrificing.
No swing on appeal. It's Green 1 for 2 tonight, singled in the 3rd. After the 7-1 start, Cal trying to bounce back after a rough weekend in Vegas, where a lot of people have had rough weekends. But for different reasons.
What other reasons?
At some point you'll learn, Wes.
Okay.
You'll figure it out at some point.
Okay.
When you live a little bit.
What would you do if you weren't doing this?
2-0 pitch. It's a fair ball handled by Jimmy Nadai. Leads the pitcher Trevor Moore to the bag for the outside retired. Cal strands a runner. We're through 7. We're headed to the 8th. 5-0 California. California 5, Stanford 0 as we head to the 8th. Cal getting a 3-run bases clearing double in the 2nd from Jaron Advincula, a couple of unearned runs in the 4th. And the new left fielder for Cal, that's Jag Burton. This senior from Huntington Beach comes in to play defense, and the left fielder, Seth Gwynn, who started the game in right field, moved to left, and now he's back in right. As Jimmy Nadai leads off the 8th for the Cardinal. 0-2 with a walk tonight for Nadai. Tucker Bougie, strike 1.
Both teams just have 4 hits apiece. It's just that you factor in the errors.
And the big hit by Advincula with the bases full. Both teams had an opportunity, the bases loaded in the 2nd, to get that 2-out hit. Owen Cobb flew out to center to end the rally for Stanford, and Advincula came through for Cal. Pulled one just inside the right field line into the corner for a 3-run triple. On the ground, left side. Backhanded, P.J. Moutsouridis doesn't have a chance to get Jimmy Nadai for an infield hit. Hit number 5 for Stanford and a start for the Cardinal in the 8th. They get the leadoff guy on. And here comes Malcolm Moore for the Cardinal, who's 0 for 3. He struck out twice tonight.
Well, when you're chasing 5 runs, leadoff hitters getting on are a big help. Right now, if you're Stanford, you're just trying to get base runners. You don't want home runs, just base runners. Hand it off to the next guy.
Cal with the overshift on in the infield for the left-handed batting Moore. Again, that's illegal to major leagues.
Well, you're trying to set me off tonight, huh?
No, I'm just pointing it out.
For the 5th time tonight.
Well, I'm just saying, when a team does this and they line it up defensively like this, you can't do it in the big leagues. Because with the rules now, you have to have 2 of your infielders on the right side and 2 on the left side of second base and on the dirt. Now, all 4 are on the dirt right now. But we saw it earlier with the second baseman, Advincula, out in shallow right, which you can't do anymore. Right now, it's 3-0 on Moore. That's a strike right in there from Tucker Bougie. Jimmy Nadai at first. Stanford trying to put together a late rally here. Moore in the air. Rodney Green Jr. going back, has room, makes the catch. And that's another put out for the center fielder.
It's a real good job by Bougie on the mound, coming back from a 3-0 count, and then knowing that Moore knows he's going to throw a 3-1 fastball and still gets him out.
And he takes advantage of the deepest part of the ballpark here, where the ball traditionally is just not carried to center field here in Berkeley. It just doesn't. Runner at first, 1 out. Trevor Haskins, 3 flyouts to center tonight.
Well, what is interesting about this yard here, it's only 365 to the gaps. But then that,
and 320 down the line.
As you mentioned, center field, it's just death out there. You hit a ball, it's not going for the most part.
And look, they haven't had the lights here all that long in Berkeley. Within the last 10 years, they put the lights in. And one thing I've noticed since they started playing night games here is it's funny, like during the day, some of the days when the wind is blowing in, it's nearly impossible to get it out of here, especially to right field when the wind's coming in off the bay. I have found at night, and there's no breeze, no wind, that the ball tends to carry better at night, especially to right field. Left field, it's always carried pretty well here.
Are you asking me
no,
to explain
I'm telling
why?
You. I know. I'm just telling you.
Because there's no chance.
If you want to play amateur meteorologist, you're welcome to.
Well, that's my point. You want to get involved in science and things like that? I have no chance.
I don't mean to hurt your head. Haskins fights it off.
That was hurt long.
I mean,
that was hurt long ago. Okay. Jeez. I mean, come on. The only thing you would do is compound it.
Don't hurt yourself, really.
Which you do normally, and continue to do.
Ball and 2 strikes and Haskins. Nati the runner at first. Tucker Bougie, the pitch. And that one hit him. And Stanford's got 2 on with 1 out. As Haskins aboard, Nati goes to second. And a pinch hitter for the Cardinal, this will be Brandon Larson, a transfer from UC San Diego, who has monstrous power. He gets a hold of one, it can go a long way. As Brandon Larson, a big dude at 6'6", 235.
Well, we talked about how you make a comeback chasing 5. You don't want you don't want to hit home runs. In this situation, you actually are looking for one from Larson.
And he fouls it off the end of the bat. Pinch hitting for Luke Lavin here in the 8th. And interesting that you go with a righty on the mound. Lavin, a left-handed batter, you hit for him with another left-handed batter.
But you mentioned the power of Larson.
Yes.
And when you're chasing 5 with 5 outs to go.
0-2.
David Esker's saying, hey, with 1 swing, we can cut this lead to 2.
So Larson last year played for UC San Diego, second team All Big West. Led the Tritons, 45 RBIs, hit 9 home runs last year. Two on, 1 out. Just missed to Larson.
Loma Vida, he didn't even flinch. So, let's see.
Maybe low and away.
Nah, Loma Vida's setting up about a foot outside. He's
got him with the off speed.
That's a great changeup right there from Bougie.
Second strikeout for Tucker Bougie.
And that's after 2 fastballs, about 95. Watch his changeup. The bottom just falls right out of it, and Larson has no chance.
Here is Timo Becerra, 2 on, 2 out. He's 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. But first at mound visit from Chris Bodishbaugh, the pitching coach of the Bears.
I wouldn't doubt there's a pitching change because this is an odd time to go out and talk to him. So my guess is we have a pitching change coming.
Bougie has thrown 34 pitches after 6 scoreless innings from Luke Short, who made the start. Struck out 4, scattered just 2 hits in those 6 innings. And, yep, we're getting a pitching change. So Cal going to the bullpen. They're summoning the lanky righty, the senior Connor Sullivan, coming out of the bullpen for Cal. Bears trying to hold on to a 5-0 lead.
There are many reasons why we play. They sow themselves into the fabric of your spirit, taking root and giving you something to root for. Our games stretch beyond the sidelines, only to get louder, bolder. It breeds a form of dedication that doesn't require an off-season. The game is always on. The crowd is always on their feet. And it's here where passion has purpose.
The Pac-12 spring pastime continues with the 3rd annual Pac-12 baseball tournament. The top 9 teams in the conference battling it out on the diamond. Live from Scottsdale Stadium, the perfect destination for any road trip. So grab your glove and put on your rally caps and score your seats now to the greatest show on dirt. The 2024 Pac-12 baseball tournament, May 21st through 25th. Visit pac-12.com/tickets.
New Cal pitcher with 2 on and 2 out here in the 8th. Connor Sullivan takes over after an inning and 2/3 for Tucker Bougie. And now it's the senior righty, the lanky 6'5", 180-pound Sullivan, who's just from up the road, and Martinez After College Park High School, went to the College of San Mateo over on the other side of the bay. And for Sullivan, his 6th appearance, which leads the team. He has 9 strikeouts in 7 innings so far this season.
Fastball slider is what you will mostly see from Connor. Fastballs normally in the low 90s.
So Sullivan got the glasses going. Timo Becerra climbs in to face the righty Sullivan.
We all have the glasses going now, don't we?
Sometimes. Nadi at second, Haskins at first, and it's fouled away by Becerra. Becerra did a really nice job for Stanford last year. Took over as the shortstop at the end of the year. Hit .316 with a couple of home runs a year ago. And Sullivan overthrows the fastball. It's 1-1.
I thought it was interesting how Becerra took over shortstop. It was literally in the middle of a regional against Cal State Fullerton.
He ended up homering in that regional, going 4 for 12. Popped up. Peyton Schultz over near the stands may have a play, and he does. Schultz over on the side warning track. Stanford strands 2 more. We're going to the bottom of the 8th, heart of the order for Cal. Going to the bottom of the 8th, heart of the order for Cal. Caleb Lomavita, Max Handren, Peyton Schultz. Due up as you look at the slate for the weekend, and we've alluded to Pac-12 play begins this weekend. And again, Oregon State in a non-conference series hosting CSUN. Stanford will head to Washington. Cal will host UCLA. And how about the Utes and the Cougs in Pullman, considering the great start those 2 teams are off to? Picked as 10th and 11th in the Pac-12, and yet they're off to great records to start the year. Oregon will be in technically Phoenix.
Yes.
At Phoenix Muni to take on Arizona State. Then Wildcats will play USC down in Southern California. Ryan Speciak, the new pitcher for the Cardinal. The freshman from Goleta in the shadows of UC Santa Barbara. Went to DP, Dos Pueblos High School.
Like, you're looking at me like I know where DP
My
is.
wife went to Dos Pueblos High School.
Okay, so your lovely wife went to the same high school, but I still have no idea where the high school is.
It's in Santa Barbara.
I mean, this place up north here is a little bit different than where I live. In the other state in California, in Southern California.
Former outstanding kicker for Cal, Tyler Fredrickson, went to Dos Pueblos. And the current head coach of the Portland Pilots who played point guard for Cal basketball, Shantae Leggins, went to DP.
I thought you weren't going to...
You know, also went to Dos Pueblos? Katy Perry.
Now, that's somebody I know, because I happen to watch American Idol on Sunday night for some reason.
Caleb Lomavita down on 3 pitches. Ryan Speciak with the strikeout as Lomavita struck out 3 times tonight.
Did you know that, since you brought up Katy Perry, did you know that she's from Santa Barbara?
Yes.
Did you know that she used to just play?
I just mentioned she went to Dos Pueblos High School in Santa Barbara.
Well,
so yes, I knew that.
Okay, but listen, did you know that she actually played on the streets there?
Yeah.
I thought that, it's fascinating.
Max Handren hit by a pitch and scored in the second is 0 for 2. And there's strike 1 from Speciak.
I thought about trying out for Idol once.
Really?
Yeah.
To do what?
Well, they sing.
Yeah, but what were you going to do?
Sing.
Thank you for sparing us.
You have no idea. Well, you actually do. You're just a little jealous when you drive and I sing
Clearly.
and stuff like that. But
Clearly,
anyway.
I'm jealous. I know my limitations. Handren loops it foul over behind third, and Timo Becerra watched it sail into the netting.
Now, as we talk about the opening weekend for the Pac-12, it's not. We're only about 80 days away from the Pac-12 tournament. You know, it happens in a hurry. And every
Scottsdale Stadium.
And boy, last year was a blast, wasn't it?
Was for Mark Wasikowski in Oregon.
What a game, right? Chip Hale out of nowhere, his club puts it together.
Reaching for it and positioned perfectly is McDonald over in left center. That's actually not McDonald, that's Saborn Campbell out there in center who made the catch.
Up next, the first baseman,
And there's 2 outs.
Peyton Schultz.
Peyton Schultz coming up. Saborn Campbell is in center, and Court McDonald went to play left field after Larson went in and hit for Luke Lavin. Called strike to Peyton Schultz. 1 for 3 tonight with a run.
But
so
all the
McDonald
clubs,
out there in left.
Excuse me, Rox, but we talked about the preseason rankings. But out of all the clubs, there's going to be a couple that really surprise you all the way through the end of May. That will get close to Oregon State. I don't know who they're going to be because it's so early in the season.
Peyton Schultz skies it to left. Coming in, Court McDonald, drifting with it, puts it away in a 1-2-3-8 for Ryan Speciak. We're going to the 9th, bottom of the order, to try to get something going for the Cardinal. 5-0 Cal as we go to the 9th. And Cal looking to pick up their 8th win, going 8-3, and beat their crosstown, cross-bay rivals, the Cardinal. As we get to the night for Luke Short, who was phenomenal. For Cal making a start, a Rawlings player of the game. 6 shutout innings of 2-hit baseball with 4 strikeouts.
Well, how about the defense, too? You see the bunt, fields it on the third base side, and then we're going to see the first base side. What that looks like, a chopper, PFP, pitch and fielding practice, run right through it for the final out of that inning. Boy, was he outstanding tonight.
New pitcher for the Bears is Tyler Stasiowski, the senior from Sebastopol. The transfer from Santa Rosa Junior College. Trying to get the final 3 outs after Connor Sullivan worked a third of an inning. Tucker Bush an inning and 2/3 after the 6 strong innings from Luke Short tonight. And for Stasiowski, looking for his 3rd save. 4 1/3 innings, he's got 7 strikeouts.
Stasiowski.
Brady Reynolds, 2 hits tonight, 2 for 3, leads it off for the Cardinal. And he did not go.
You know, as we see the check swing, this is one thing. We review everything, almost, in baseball, right? One thing I think 100% they need to add is a check swing. It's the toughest call to make for a plate umpire, 100%, and the corners. And don't you think we need to add that?
Well, I do think that the umpires behind the plate should defer to the base umpires.
It's tough. And
more than they do.
I agree. I mean, as a hitter, you get irritated to no end when you have a home plate umpire say, yes, you did. And you're like, hold on, you're going to see the ball strike and you're going to tell me if the bat crossed the plate. But even on the corners, though, you've seen it. So many games ended now.
Fooled Brady Reynolds. It's 2-2.
It's a good little slider from Stasiowski. But I think they need to add the review for the check swing.
2-2 on Brady Reynolds. Stasiowski. And there's a ball tap foul over near the Cal dugout.
Because the majority of them on the replay, you will discern 100%. Did he swing or did he not?
So again, these two teams will see each other at the end of April for a weekend series on the farm at Sunken Diamond, as Reynolds chased a pitch in the dirt and the strikeout for Brady Reynolds. There's one away, and here's the upcoming schedule for the Cardinal. Again, Washington this weekend, and they'll host USC next weekend. Non-conference series against Creighton, as with 11 teams that field baseball in the conference, there's one time during the course of league play that you'll have to have a non-conference series. And Stanford will play Creighton, who are the host of the College World Series in Omaha. And these two teams will meet each other again at the end of April. They'll have a non-conference game here in Berkeley in mid-May. One and one on Jake Sapien, who's singled twice tonight. He's also walked. He's had a good night at the plate. Fooled him there. And Cal, their non-conference series will be home against San Jose State late in the season. As weak number, tough play, that'll go as an infield hit for Sapien. A 3-hit night for Jake Sapien. And he's aboard with 1 out.
Well, it's just a ball off the end of the bat, and it's perfectly located just past Stasiowski. Hendren says, nope, I'm not even going to throw it.
1 out base runner, Owen Cobb 0 for 3 tonight. And he takes a strike from Tyler Stasiowski. And San Jose State, who Stanford beat last Monday at Sunken Diamond, defending Mountain West champs.
They were in the regional with Stanford and Cal State Fullerton.
As they lost to the Cardinal, got crushed in game 1 of that regional, then were eliminated by Fullerton.
And A&M is in that same regional.
Good pitch on the front door there from Tyler Stasiowski.
Well, Stasiowski has done nothing but fill up the zone. Every pitch he throws is in the zone, or if it's not, it just missed.
Missed down and in. Stanford, as they've had to do the last few years, had to come back through the losers bracket, winning twice on Sunday and then Monday night to advance. Runner goes, not being held, and Caleb Lomavita's throw goes into center. And Sapien stays at second base. That is a steal for the Cardinal as Jake Sapien runs into scoring position.
Well, that's one of those things, if you're Lomavita and you're aware that your first baseman's playing behind, you don't even make the throw at all. Because nothing good can happen. But, you know, you get the competitive side of you will say, I can still throw him out.
Despite not being held at first base.
Correct.
Strike 3 call to Cobb. Boy, Stasiowski has good command of that slider.
It is, and it's just perfectly located. It's a little bit firmer than most sliders, which will make the spin a little bit tighter.
Court McDonald 0 for 4 tonight. He struck out twice. Jake Sapien at second. And McDonald takes a strike. So Cal, after struggling in Las Vegas over the weekend, coming home, where they're unbeaten so far at Evans Diamond this season. It's Stu Gordon Stadium. And they're 1 strike away from remaining unbeaten here in Berkeley. Tyler Stasiowski trying to close it out for Luke Short. Strike 3 called, and that is the ball game. 3 strikeouts in the 9th for Tyler Stasiowski, and Cal has shut out Stanford 5-0. Luke Short, 6 brilliant innings, and Jaron Advincula, the game's biggest hit, that 3-run triple in the 2nd inning.
Well, you mentioned it. Tonight was all about Cal's pitching and the big hit to clear the bases for, at the time, a 3-run lead. The Bears scored a couple more, but it was all about pitching for the Bears tonight, Roxy.
So Luke Short and 3 relievers combining on a 6-hit shutout of Stanford here in Berkeley. For my partner, Wes Clements, and our Pac-12 Network crew, David Saunders, our producer, Roxy Bernstein, so long from Berkeley. Pac-12 play is upon us coming up this weekend.